Welcome to WINS Toronto. WINS Toronto is a community organization founded in December of 2018 by Hitu. The aim of WINS Toronto is to promote diversity, inclusion, and equal opportunities by championing inclusive and equitable policies in the Canadian workforce. WINS promotes, enables, and develops the professional skills of people who may have experienced challenges due to their ethnicity, cultural background, country of origin, orientation, and/or gender identity. WINS Toronto conducts public learning and networking sessions. This video highlights key takeaways from one of our learning sessions with Dean Delpeache. Dean is a talent leader well known in the Toronto tech talent scene and a strong advocate for diversity and inclusiveness in the workplace. In this session, Dean shares his tips on how to effectively use networking in your job search, how to build relationship currency, and the power of storytelling.
Dealing with networking. And it's specifically dealing with a term that I call your relationship economy or your relationship currency. And I don't know about you, but I was having a discussion with someone today, and we were talking about the difference between the Canadian market and other markets around the world. And the one thing you find, especially in Toronto, that the best way to find a job or the best way to pursue career opportunities is networking and making the right connection. So I'm going to go to my profile, and the way that I want to really use this session is I'm going to look at it from the perspective as if I was the job seeker. So right now, I am looking for a job, and how I would go about looking for an opportunity and what I would do and the steps I would take to really find the right career for me. And just before I jump in that, I want to say this as well. Remember, and I mentioned this last week in our LinkedIn optimization class, remember, this is about harnessing yourself and becoming an expert in your area. And it's also about building your career. So it's not just about getting a job quickly. It's about building your career for the long haul. And that's how I want you to kind of view LinkedIn. So I'm looking for an opportunity, and I'm going to go to my jobs tab here. And LinkedIn is quite intuitive through its machine learning algorithms to be able to tell us or tell you, kind of who's hiring, and LinkedIn has the ability to target job postings towards your skill set. But I'm going to put in that I'm looking for a role in talent. Okay, I'm going to make it broad. I won't say talent acquisition specifically. And I'm going to shrink this down to say I'm looking for a role in talent in Canada, or in Toronto, excuse me. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, so now I have a list of different job opportunities that, might look good for my background. Okay. And, I walk through and I'm looking and I'm searching, and, this is kind of what we all do. Search for an opportunity that really appeals to us. And let's just say, I look through and maybe I see a couple jobs, but then I decide that, I want to pursue a role because this is also a part of my skill set as a human resource business partner. Okay. So I look and I'm scrolling down and I see, okay, there's an opportunity at a company such as Touch Bistro. Now, if you don't know who Touch Bistro is, Touch Bistro creates software for the hospitality and restaurant industry. And they create SaaS-based software. And I have a SaaS-based background, so I want to maybe see if that role might appeal to me. So I look at the role, and here's the first thing that I do. in reading a job description. Okay. The first thing I do is I look for some very key information. So if I read the job description, I know that this role looks like it applies to me because I have a minimum of 7 years of experience, and I've worked in an HRBP role and all of these things. And I say to myself, okay, I should apply for this role. Before I even apply, I am looking for some key information. I'm looking for who does this job work with, okay? Who does this job position work with? But here's a question that that I would ask myself: who would a senior HR business partner typically report to? And in my mind, this person is typically going to report to, depending on the size of the company, right? The human resources manager, the director of HR. If it's a larger company, it might be like a director of HR business partners. But in smaller companies, it's usually the highest level of HR. That's who I know this person's going to report. So when I went to Japan, just before I went to Japan, I was really feeling like I should just send out a message of gratitude to people and just say thank you so much for, a great year. And I'm going to kid you not, everybody. It took me about an hour or so to write the post. It took me about 2 hours to finally put the post out because I was experiencing that fear. I was thinking, why am I doing this? Should I really do this? Should I put it out? And I put it out. I decided at the end, I'm going to put it out. And here was the post. LinkedIn friends, this is my final post for 2019. Yes. I've learned that gratitude is an important part of building strong relationships. With that said, 2019 was an amazing year. To my fixed software family, I appreciate all of you, to my old and new connections. And I just basically said thank you. And what I did was, and this is something important that I want to encourage you to do, when you make posts, tag anyone or people who are important to your posts, right? And I ended off tomorrow. I board a flight to Tokyo. See you in 2020. I made it very, very personal. Put up a picture. Picture helps to get more views. So I think the best way for me to end out this session, and the reason why this is important, you sharing, is because as you are sharing your authentic experience, people start to gravitate to you. You build more relationship currency, and so that when you're going out and you're applying for roles, people see your value. That's what you're doing. You're just increasing your value. And I'm going to end off by just saying this. Every single person on this call has value. The only issue is that there are people that don't know who you are and don't know your worth and your value. And so I conclude with Hitu's statement of, let's move beyond fear, and you have experiences that no one else has. You're unique. Share those experiences.
Wins Toronto would like to hear from you. Have you experienced challenges or disadvantage throughout your professional journey? Are you willing to share your story with others? If so, please contact us to have your story featured on our YouTube channel.